we've exchanged good wishes and all that sort of stuff to each other, but it's not a constant thing.
Minutes ago, at 55, Jennifer Aniston finally opened up about her intense split with Brad Pitt, sending shockwaves across their fans. Despite their seemingly flawless appearances at star-studded events, their relationship was riddled with hidden troubles from the start.
And I was just fed up with it.
What specific challenges did Jennifer face during her time with Brad? Let's expose the specific hardships she endured in her high-profile relationship. Aniston and Pitt's Hollywood romance. In the beginning, everything seems normal. You're just sitting there feeling confused and frustrated because things aren't falling into place like you thought they would. The same goes for the story of Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt. For years, their relationship was a hot topic, even long after they split up and moved on to new partners. She stayed quiet about her divorce, Angelina Jolie's involvement, and the rumors about her personal struggles. But at 55, she finally opened up about the painful ending of her marriage to Brad. Just as the world thought they knew everything, Jennifer revealed a long hidden letter from Brad that turned everything on its head. He and she were seen as Hollywood's perfect couple, admired even after they broke up. Their short marriage still grabbed people's attention. They were always seen together at fancy events, smiling and holding hands, which made it look like they had a storybook romance. But things started off much simpler. They met in 1994 through their managers who were friends, but there wasn't any instant spark. Their managers tried to set them up, but it didn't work out until 4 years later when they finally had their first date. At that time, they were both more focused on their careers than love. Even though they had been in relationships with other celebrities before, it wasn't until both were single and settled in their careers that they started to think about dating seriously. Their first official date was in 1998. She later talked about it in a 2004 interview, calling it relaxed, fun, and full of chemistry. Their relationship quickly became a favorite story in the media, which loved to highlight how happy they seemed. She had dated Tate Donovan before, and the intense media coverage around that relationship made her realize the value of privacy, a lesson she and he tried to follow. They finally went public at the 1999 Emmy Awards, confirming the rumors. She, in an interview, said it was a joyful time for her. Their love story was celebrated as one of Hollywood's best in the late 1990s and early 2000s. They were often seen together, looking inseparable and drawing attention wherever they went. In November 1999, they made headlines again when they stepped on stage at a Sting concert, where she showed off her new engagement ring. But the real buzz began in 2000, when news of their upcoming wedding spread. Called the Wedding of the Century, it was a private event in Malibu with 200 guests. He, known for his tough guy roles, took care to make sure everything was perfect, and the wedding reportedly cost around $1 million. They went all out, decorating the venue with 50,000 flowers and floating lanterns to keep it both beautiful and hidden from the paparazzi. The guest list was packed with stars like Salma Hayek, Courtney Cox, and Cameron Diaz. There was a live gospel choir and 4 bands, and one song supposedly moved him to tears as she walked down the aisle. Both he and she, known for their style and elegance, made sure their wedding reflected their personalities and their Hollywood status. But things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Despite the glamour and public smiles, cracks started showing early on. He, on the other hand, looked sharp in a 4-button tuxedo perfectly tailored by Hedi Slimane, a stylist with the French brand Celine. But despite the glamour of their big day, her story didn't start with him. Before meeting him, she had a few high-profile relationships. One of the first was with Charlie Schlatter, her co-star on NBC's show Ferris Bueller. The show was based on the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Their romance began in 1990, and it caught attention because she played his younger sister on the show. This made fans wonder how their relationship worked behind the scenes. Sadly, their time together didn't last long, but it was just the start of her many public relationships in Hollywood. Her rising career brought unexpected turns. The early flames of stardom. In 1990, as her career was taking off, she met Daniel McDonald, an actor who became a major part of her life. They were together for 5 years, making it her longest relationship until him. Their relationship seemed strong, so their breakup surprised many people. Even years later, in a 2015 interview, she called him the love of her life. Sadly, McDonald passed away in 2007, which made her reflect on their time together and admit she had taken it for granted. But this wasn't the hardest part of her story. When McDonald moved to New York after their breakup, he started finding success just as her career hit new heights with Friends. Looking back, she realized he was a wonderful person and felt regretful she hadn't appreciated what they had. Around this time, she briefly dated the lead singer of Counting Crows after they met at the Viper Room, a club partly owned by Johnny Depp. Their romance began in a lighthearted way, thanks to a prank set up by their friends. While it didn't last, they enjoyed their time together and shared good memories. Then came another chapter in her love life when she met Tate Donovan, best known later for his role in The O.C. She started dating him before he became famous. She often spoke highly of him, praising his kindness and thoughtfulness. Donovan, who had previously dated Sandra Bullock, was surprised by her fame, as he hadn't seen Friends before they met. Their relationship faced challenges due to all the media attention, but they had a strong bond. At one point, they even exchanged commitment rings and got engaged, with plans to get married. Donovan showed his love for her by gifting her a dog named Enzo for Valentine's Day, which was a sweet gesture that meant a lot to her. Yet, despite their deep connection and engagement, things didn't work out in the end. Even with all the love and plans for the future, their relationship ended. And this wasn't the last time the media would follow her love life so closely. In 1998, fans were really caught up in her breakup with Tate Donovan. By the next year, there were tons of rumors flying around, so she decided to set the record straight in an interview with Rolling Stone. She wanted to put an end to the false stories, especially the one that claimed Donovan was jealous of her success as an actress. She explained that their breakup had nothing to do with career jealousy, but didn't want to share the real reason, which only fueled more made-up stories. Things got even more awkward when Donovan was chosen to play her love interest on Friends right after their split. Imagine having to act in romantic scenes with your ex right after a breakup. In an interview with US Weekly, Donovan admitted it was tough working together so soon after they ended things. He said it was hard pretending to fall in love on screen when in real life they were falling apart. That 6-episode run was particularly painful because it overlapped with their real-life breakup. They had been together for 2 years before working on Friends, which some fans didn't realize. He was actually her last serious relationship before she started dating Brad Pitt. Even though her past relationships didn't work out, people wondered if things would be different this time. Next, her life blends with a famous co-star, the Pitt-Aniston ensemble. Pitt and Aniston even worked together when he made a guest appearance on Friends in 2001, playing a character who didn't like Rachel Green, Aniston's character. Off-screen, though, their chemistry was obvious. In a 2003 interview with W magazine, Aniston called him one of her favorite guest stars and talked about how special their relationship was, even in the middle of Hollywood's chaos. The couple took things further when they started their own film company, Plan B Entertainment, in 2002. At first, they kept it low-key to avoid people thinking it was just another celebrity vanity project. By 2004, they had produced around 17 movies. One of their first big projects was Troy, where he played the main role of Achilles. In 2005, they also made Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp. Their success together in the film world inspired many. But this wasn't the end of their story. By 2004, Aniston was wrapping up her time on Friends, and the finale pulled in a huge audience. That same year, he had a hit with Troy and Ocean's 12. It seemed like a big turning point for both of them in their careers and personal lives. In the early 2000s, a popular TV episode introduced a fictional couple called Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Around that time, people knew that Hollywood marriages often didn't last long. Still, many thought Pitt and Aniston would be the exception, but the so-called Hollywood curse didn't spare them either. Filming for the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith finally started on January 5, 2004, after several delays caused by actors dropping out. Originally, Nicole Kidman and Pitt were supposed to be the leads, but Nicole had to leave due to scheduling issues with another movie, The Stepford Wives. For a while, producers considered other actors like Johnny Depp or Will Smith, and actresses like Cate Blanchett or Catherine Zeta-Jones for the main roles. But when Angelina Jolie was suggested for Mrs. Smith, everyone agreed she was perfect for the part. Not long after, people began talking about a possible romance between Pitt and Angelina Jolie, thanks to the chemistry they showed on set. These rumors only grew stronger a few months into filming, especially after incidents like him sending Angelina flowers with a playful note, and a scene where Angelina danced flirtatiously with him. Despite the gossip, Jennifer Aniston stood by his word and brushed off the rumors. However, on January 24, 2005, the couple announced their separation after almost 5 years of marriage. At the same time, Angelina had just ended her own marriage to Billy Bob Thornton and had recently adopted her first child, Maddox, from Cambodia. Friends close to Pitt said he spent a lot of time reflecting on what he wanted in his life during this period. He told Jennifer that their breakup had nothing to do with anyone else. Even Jennifer's good friend Courtney Cox said in an interview that he had been honest about his feelings for Angelina, admitting he was drawn to her but still struggled with it. Filming for Mr. and Mrs. Smith continued until April 22, 2004, and then he flew to France to shoot Ocean's 12. For a little while, this quieted the rumors, since he and Jennifer were seen together at events like the Cannes Film Festival and even enjoying a romantic boat trip in Paris. Yet, as soon as filming resumed in August, so did the whispers, especially when photos of Pitt and Angelina looking close on set surfaced again. Even though people working on the film said everything was professional, the stories wouldn't go away. On set, real feelings start to mix with the script. Pitt and Angelina's untold saga. Anyone who watched the movie could see how strong the on-screen connection between Pitt and Angelina was. They spent a lot of time together, from rehearsing scenes to practicing stunts. In interviews, Angelina talked about how their work relationship had turned into a real friendship. At first, she was hesitant because he was still married, but by the time filming wrapped up, the emotional bond between them was undeniable. Angelina was determined to remain an independent single mother and was careful about getting involved with a married man. Even though he was still technically married, Pitt found himself torn. Jennifer, who tried to believe in their marriage, couldn't shake off her doubts. Eventually, they finalized their divorce on October 2nd. Even though his marriage was over, his life was now tied to Angelina's, opening up a new, yet uncertain chapter for both of them. They couldn't keep their marriage together, and she wanted to go back to using her last name, Aniston, after taking his last name while they were married. In April 2005, photos showed him spending time with Angelina's adopted son Maddox on a beach in Africa. A month later, after Jennifer had filed for divorce, more pictures came out showing him, Angelina, and Maddox together on a beach in Kenya. These photos led people to wonder if he and Angelina were more than just friends. By the end of the year, they were often seen together, and the media began calling them Brangelina. According to a report by US Weekly, they were spotted sharing a kiss, and he was even seen putting sunscreen on her back, which seemed very personal. The pictures caused a big buzz, and US Weekly bought them for a large amount, with both also getting a share of the money. Even though the pictures created a lot of drama, both insisted there was no romance while he was still married to her. But later, Angelina admitted in a Vogue interview that her feelings for him grew during the filming of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Brad openly talked about his new relationship with Angelina soon after his separation. She, however, stayed quiet for a long time. Things took a tougher turn for her when she learned that Angelina was pregnant with his baby during an interview, making the public even more curious about her life and her plans for having children. In an emotional interview with Vanity Fair, she spoke about how hard it was to end her marriage, the constant media attention on his new relationship, and her hope that people would stop focusing on it. After their split, she found comfort in being alone and spent time with close friends and her dog, working on healing through therapy. Even though she was trying to move on, the media kept painting her as lonely just because she didn't have children, while he had moved on to build a new family. She also tried dating others, including Vince Vaughn, whom she met while filming The Breakup in Chicago. They ended things in December 2006, but she didn't speak about it until 2 years later in 2008. On August 10, 2012, he proposed to Angelina with an expensive ring worth $500,000. They got engaged and married on August 23, 2014, in a small ceremony at their French home, surrounded by their 6 kids: Maddox, Pax, Zahara, Shiloh, Vivienne, and Knox. Meanwhile, she found love again with actor-director Justin Theroux. They bought a house together in Los Angeles in January 2012 and got engaged later that year, eventually getting married in August 2015. They managed to keep their wedding secret by pretending it was a party for Justin's birthday. As one story dims, rumors of a reunion spark, Hollywood's glamorous union and unraveling. During their 12 years together, he and Angelina, famously known as Brangelina, grabbed the attention of people all around the world and were seen as a top Hollywood couple. They had 6 children together, 3 of whom were adopted. Angelina took his last name, but they eventually split up in 2016. Angelina filed for divorce, saying they had serious differences. They were declared legally single in 2019 after a tough fight over a winery they owned together, which included accusations against him of mistreating Angelina and the kids. After a long legal battle, he was finally granted joint custody of the children in May 2021. Even after the divorce, rumors started that he had contacted her on her 48th birthday in 2017, while she was still married to Justin. Reports said that he sent her a friendly message, sharing some of his struggles since his split with Angelina, and they exchanged a few nostalgic texts. This sparked a lot of talk again about her and his past relationship, with fans and the media diving back into their story. She had kept old love letters from him during their marriage, which he found 2 years ago. Many believe this discovery contributed to their split. Now that both she and he are single again, rumors about them getting back together started to surface. The buzz grew louder when he showed up at her 50th birthday party in February 2019 at the Sunset Tower Hotel in Los Angeles. Fans were excited, thinking they might rekindle their romance. However, when asked about it in June 2019, he dismissed the rumors, saying, "Oh my God." Pictures of them at the event spread quickly online, fueling even more speculation about a reunion. Even though they both repeated that they were only friends, people were still curious. Fans even reached out to a body language expert for insight. It had been nearly 20 years since they broke up, but the public couldn't let go of the idea of them reuniting. Then, during the awards in 2020, both of them won. They met backstage and their chat made headlines. He joked that it felt like a big reunion, even referencing her upcoming appearance on the Friends special. Still, both stuck to their claim that they were just friends. But was that really the full story? At the ceremony, he was seen watching her acceptance speech for her role in The Morning Show. People analyzed their body language, trying to find clues. One expert, Patty Wood, noticed how relaxed he looked and how he held his award, suggesting she might still be important to him. Her body language showed a mix of caring and protectiveness. But despite all these observations, she cleared things up in 2021. She said their relationship was purely friendly, calling him a buddy and emphasizing there were no romantic feelings. They were focusing on their own lives and careers, but fans continued to dream of a romantic comeback. In 2022, she finally addressed some old rumors. She talked about her struggles with fertility and how false stories had spread about why she and he broke up. She shared the challenges she faced with IVF and dismissed the incorrect rumors about him leaving her. Could this be the real reason behind their split? Despite clearing the air in 2021 and revealing her fertility struggles in 2022, questions remain. Could these issues be the real reason they parted ways? Comment your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe for more.